I don't have 50 million to bet with you, but I do have 3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3, winner takes all.
Jake Paul, the self-proclaimed problem child, has once again set the internet ablaze. This time it's not for a knockout or a wild stunt, but for turning down Andrew Tate's $3 million fight challenge. A move that has fans, critics, and even legends of the sport scratching their heads. The question is, why? Why would Jake walk away from a fight that promised fame, fortune, and the ultimate test of his abilities? Enter Joe Rogan and Floyd Mayweather, two icons with no shortage of opinions. Rogan, never one to mince words, called Jake's rejection a huge red flag and questioned whether Jake is afraid of facing someone who could truly test him.
What he's doing is, kind of cool if he can continue to steal money.
Mayweather, on the other hand, didn't hold back either, branding Jake as a cherry picker who only fights opponents he knows he can beat. Ouch. But does Jake have a reason, or is he just running scared? Andrew Tate, a former kickboxing world champion, didn't just offer the fight, he threw in the gauntlet with a fiery ultimatum. Anywhere, anytime. For a fighter like Jake, who thrives on headlines, this could have been the perfect match. Instead, his decision to walk away has fans flooding social media with memes, calling him everything from a fraud to a YouTuber in boxing gloves.
What he's doing is, kind of cool if he can continue to steal money. And they match him the way they match him. I can't knock his hustle. So if they can match him the way how they've been matching him, more power to him.
You don't want to miss the action at Glove Goals. Subscribe now, or we might have to call you out in the next round. As Joe Rogan aptly said, fighting is about proving yourself in the ring, not dodging challenges outside of it. Imagine what the likes of Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali would say about this drama. They didn't just take on fights, they made history with them. So what's next for Jake Paul? Will he keep dodging real competition, or will this backlash finally force him to step up? Tate's challenge, $3 million fight offer, Jake refuses. Andrew Tate, a former kickboxing world champion and one of the internet's most polarizing figures, made an offer that shook the boxing world. $3 million for a fight against Jake Paul. His challenge wasn't just about money, it was a direct call to test Jake's skills and courage. Anytime, anywhere, Tate declared, leaving no room for excuses. For a fighter who prides himself on being fearless, this should have been a no-brainer. But instead of stepping into the ring, Jake stepped back. He rejected the offer outright, a move that left fans stunned and critics pouncing. Why would Jake turn down a fight that could silence his doubters and cement his legacy? Was it fear of losing? Or does he genuinely believe Andrew Tate isn't worth his time? Would Jake Paul have rejected a $3 million offer if it came from a retired boxer instead? Tate didn't let Jake's silence go unnoticed. Doubling down, he publicly mocked Jake, calling him out on social media with posts that went viral. Jake Paul is scared, Tate said, laughing at the idea of Jake dodging a fight against someone who's young, fast, and dangerous. He even threw in a jab at Jake's reputation, saying, "You'll fight anyone, as long as you already know you'll win." Ouch. Even boxing legend Mike Tyson chimed in with his timeless wisdom. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And isn't that the point? Tate wanted to test Jake's mettle, not his ability to manage a narrative. The internet, of course, had a field day. Memes of Jake running from Tate spread like wildfire. One fan joked, "Jake only fights boxers over 50 or under 5 feet 5 inches. Another wrote, "Maybe Andrew should challenge Jake to a Fortnite match instead." But beneath the humor lies a serious question. Why does Jake keep avoiding fights that could truly test him? Is he protecting his record, or is it something deeper? Tate's persistence isn't just about proving himself. It's about exposing Jake's strategy. And the longer Jake avoids answering the challenge, the louder the critics grow. How long can Jake dodge before the pressure becomes too much? Mayweather's critique, cherry picker claim, legacy contrast. Floyd Mayweather, with his undefeated 50-0 record, knows what it takes to build a legendary boxing career. So when he weighed in on Jake Paul's refusal to fight Andrew Tate, it wasn't just talk, it was a heavy hit to Jake's image. Floyd called Jake a cherry picker, accusing him of dodging tough opponents. Boxing is about stepping up against the best, not picking easy targets. Jake's decision to avoid Tate raises the question, why back down when it really matters? Floyd's career is built on fighting legends like Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez. Jake, however, faces retired athletes or fighters with little experience. How can you call yourself a real fighter Floyd asked, pointing out the difference in their approach. The feud between Jake and Floyd isn't new. Remember when Jake grabbed Floyd's hat at a press event? It went viral, but it also highlighted the difference in their mindsets. Jake thrives on drama, Floyd on skill. Jake talks big, but when it's time to back it up, he disappears, Floyd quipped. One fan even joked, "Jake's training for the Olympic dodgeball team, not boxing." Floyd's critique cuts deep. For him, boxing is about respect and legacy. For Jake, it's about views and spotlight. Now the pressure's on Jake. Will he step up to the challenge or stick to his controlled path? Floyd's words have made one thing clear. Jake's reputation is on the line. Rogan's analysis: weak opponents avoids real threats. Joe Rogan has been outspoken about Jake Paul's fight choices. Jake's picking fights with guys who can't touch him, Rogan said. Old athletes, retired fighters. That's not boxing. Rogan's frustration is clear. Jake isn't stepping up to face real threats, and his refusal to fight Andrew Tate is a perfect example of this. Jake turned down $3 million in a real challenge from Tate. Why? It's simple. Jake's been playing it safe. His previous opponents like Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and Tommy Fury have all been less of a threat than Tate, who's young, fast, and dangerous. Rogan's not buying it. Why dodge a fight like that, he asks. Jake's afraid of someone who can actually fight back. Is Jake simply avoiding a real test? Rogan believes Jake isn't scared of losing. He's scared of facing a real fighter who can expose his weaknesses. Jake can't handle someone who won't fall for his circus act, Rogan said. Tate is a skilled martial artist with years of combat experience, not some has-been athlete trying to cash in. Fans have echoed Rogan's thoughts, with one tweet calling Jake's opponents easy targets. The truth is out. Jake's boxing career is all spectacle, no substance. Until he faces someone like Tate, his reputation as a serious boxer is in doubt. Rogan's words are sharp. Jake's legacy will always be questioned unless he steps up to the real challenges. Jake's fights: easy wins, Tommy Fury loss. Jake Paul's boxing career has been a spectacle, but not necessarily a fight for respect. His early matches, like those against Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and Tyron Woodley, weren't against the kind of opponents who could really test his skills. Robinson was a basketball player with no boxing experience. Askren, a retired wrestler with no striking game, and Woodley, a former UFC fighter, was past his prime. These matches were made for entertainment, not to prove Jake was a true boxer. But then came Tommy Fury, a real boxer with a solid record, and that's when Jake's carefully controlled career took its first major hit. In their highly publicized fight, Jake lost, marking his first real defeat. The loss didn't just affect his record, it hurt his reputation. For the first time, Jake faced someone who wasn't there for the show, but to actually fight. And when it came time to prove himself, Jake couldn't hold up. So what happened to Jake's image after the loss? Many fans and critics began questioning whether Jake was more interested in the spectacle than the skill. His career seemed to be a series of matches designed to keep his name in the headlines, not to compete against the best. Jake Paul isn't a boxer, he's a social media star with boxing gloves on, one critic joked after his loss to Fury. But was that a fair assessment? Hit that subscribe button and let's make your fight nights legendary. Glove goals, where the punches are real and so are the fun. Jake's career choices have been driven by entertainment, not by the challenges that define true competition. His fights seem more like marketing campaigns than actual fights. It's hard to deny the idea that Jake's focus was always on image. He was always more about getting attention than testing his limits. Will Jake Paul ever face a real boxer again, or will he continue to pick opponents he can control? That question looms large as his career continues down this path of entertainment over competition. Persona versus reality. Tough image avoids challenges. Jake Paul's image has always been built on bravado. He's the fearless fighter, the guy who talks big and isn't afraid of anyone. But when it comes to actually facing the toughest challenges, his actions don't match his words. He presents himself as a warrior, ready to take on anyone. But when it's time to face real competition, he steps back. His public persona and reality just don't line up. One of the biggest moments that exposed this was the infamous gotcha hat incident. You might remember Jake trying to grab Floyd Mayweather's hat during a press event. That stunt went viral, sparking endless memes and jokes. But it also showed Jake's true focus. It wasn't about the fight, it was about the drama, the spectacle, and getting attention. Floyd didn't take kindly to it, calling Jake out for his immature antics, and the internet had a field day. Jake's not a boxer, he's a walking meme, fans joked. The public began to see Jake more as a showman than a serious fighter. After the Tommy Fury loss, the memes only grew. Social media had a field day mocking Jake's decisions. The bravado was gone, and people weren't laughing with him anymore. When you talk all that smack and can't back it up, you turn into a joke, one tweet read. Fans and critics alike pointed out that Jake's refusal to fight someone like Andrew Tate only confirmed their suspicions. Jake's persona was all about hype, not hard punches. Jake claims he's here to change the sport, but can someone truly change boxing by avoiding real competition? The clock is ticking for Jake to prove there's more to him than just viral moments. Public reaction, backlash, memes, Tate's attacks. The public reaction to Jake Paul's decision to reject Andrew Tate's challenge has been nothing short of explosive. Fans from both the boxing world and casual viewers have started calling Jake out. And it's not just the usual trolls. These are real boxing enthusiasts who are fed up with the spectacle. They're tired of watching Jake cherry-pick easy opponents and then claim to be the next big thing in the sport. If you want to be a boxer, fight someone who can actually punch back, one fan tweeted. The backlash was loud and clear. Jake's image as a fighter is rapidly crumbling. Andrew Tate, never one to shy away from a fight, quickly seized the opportunity. He took to social media, attacking Jake with full force, calling him scared and afraid to face a real challenge. Tate wasted no time labeling Jake as soft for turning down the $3 million fight offer, claiming Jake was more interested in maintaining a perfect record than stepping into the ring with a legitimate threat. You talk tough, but when it's time to back it up, you hide behind your shiny record, Tate said in a video that quickly went viral. The online reactions were swift and brutal, with fans from all over the world mocking Jake for his decision. But it didn't stop there. Floyd Mayweather's critique added fuel to the fire, further damaging Jake's reputation. Floyd's comments hit Jake where it hurt the most, his credibility. Mayweather, a fighter who faced the best of the best throughout his career, highlighted Jake's weak record and avoidance of true competition. You can't claim to be a champion when you're fighting people who don't even belong in the ring, Floyd said. And it wasn't just boxing fans who took notice. The meme machines went into overdrive and jokes flooded social media. Jake's next opponent, a punching bag, one person quipped. So what happens now? Will Jake Paul continue to hide behind his public persona and avoid the real challenges? Or will he step up and prove he's more than just a YouTube sensation? The pressure is on, and the boxing world is watching closely. Jake's next move will determine whether he can ever shake off this scared label or if he'll fade into the background as just another celebrity who tried to box. Impact on boxing, attention versus respect, spectacle over skill. Jake Paul's antics have certainly drawn a massive amount of attention to boxing, but not all of it is positive. His dramatic stunts, viral moments, and flashy approach to the sport have brought eyes to boxing that would otherwise never have paid attention. But as the spotlight grows brighter, the respect for the sport itself is starting to fade. Boxing purists and longtime fans are fed up with the gimmicks. They feel that Jake's antics, like calling out retired fighters or picking easy wins, are overshadowing the true essence of boxing. Boxing is about heart, skill, and proving yourself, one fan commented. Not about making memes and collecting easy paydays. It's becoming clear that Jake is more focused on the spectacle than the sport. His fan base, a mix of YouTube followers and casual viewers, is drawn to the drama, the trash talk, and the headlines. But when it comes to respecting the tradition and legacy of boxing, there's a huge divide. Boxing is about skill, blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Jake's approach, fighting people who are past their prime or have no boxing background, has turned it into a circus. This isn't the WWE, said one legendary trainer. It's real fights with real consequences. But for Jake, the biggest consequence might be the growing disrespect from boxing purists who see him as nothing more than a sideshow attraction. So does Jake's rise bring more attention to boxing, or is he tarnishing the sport's credibility? The line between spectacle and respect is becoming harder to define. With each fake challenge and dodge fight, Jake risks becoming a symbol of everything wrong with the current state of boxing. Can he ever prove himself, or will he continue to be the punchline of a bigger, ongoing joke? Only time will tell. Jake's future, avoidance risks, Tate's looming challenge. Jake Paul's future in boxing is hanging by a thread. With his flashy personality and viral moments, he's attracted millions of followers and put eyes on the sport like never before. But as the years go by, the question remains, will Jake ever step up and face a legitimate challenge? So far, his opponents have been handpicked, fighters past their prime, retired athletes, or those with little boxing experience. But at some point, the hype can only carry you so far. As Floyd Mayweather and Andrew Tate have pointed out, the real fights, the ones that define a fighter's legacy, are what really matter. Will Jake ever take on a true threat, or will he keep running from the real competition? If Jake continues to dodge top-level fighters, it could be the end of his boxing career before it even truly begins. His reputation will only decline as people see through the act, and the big paydays will start to fade away. There are whispers already. Boxing fans and critics alike are growing impatient, and many are wondering how long he can keep this up. It's all fun and games until you get punched in the face for real, one former boxer quipped. Jake has talked the talk, but now it's time to walk the walk. If he keeps avoiding real competition, his long-term future in boxing could become a laughingstock. Can he bounce back and prove himself, or is this just another stunt for the spotlight? One of the biggest tests will be Andrew Tate. Tate's challenge looms over Jake like a dark cloud, and it's clear that if Jake truly wants to prove himself, facing someone like Tate would be the ultimate test. Tate is a skilled fighter with a history in kickboxing, and Jake turning down his offer for a $3 million fight only raised more eyebrows. Many are asking, will Jake ever step into the ring with a real threat like Tate, or will he always pick the easy way out? Time will tell, but Jake's next move will be the one that truly defines his legacy. Conclusion: reputation at stake, must face real competition. Jake Paul's reputation is on the line. After rejecting Andrew Tate's $3 million fight offer, the consequences are becoming clear. Fans, critics, and former fighters have all had their say, and the pressure is building. His refusal to face a serious opponent like Tate has led many to question Jake's true abilities and intentions. While his antics and celebrity status may draw eyes, they don't win respect in the boxing world. Can Jake Paul recover from the fallout, or has he missed his shot at legitimacy? Floyd Mayweather and Joe Rogan's critiques have only made things worse for Jake. Floyd's harsh words calling him a cherry picker and Rogan's analysis of his fear to face real competition have exposed the cracks in Jake's strategy. It's clear that Jake's decisions aren't just about picking fights, he's carefully curating his image. But this comes at a cost. Boxing fans are not fooled by the spectacle, and Jake's standing as a boxer is becoming more and more questionable. You can't call yourself a fighter if you're not willing to step up when it counts, Floyd said. Will Jake ever take the risk that truly challenges him, or is he just playing the game for views? If Jake Paul wants to be respected as a true boxer, it's time for him to step up and prove himself. Avoiding real challenges may have worked for a while, but the clock is ticking. His next move will determine whether he can shake off the drama and become a legitimate contender. Will Jake Paul finally stop hiding behind the spectacle and face a true test in the ring? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. If Jake doesn't change his approach, he risks fading into the background as just another internet celebrity with a few boxing matches under his belt. One click and you're in. Don't miss the knockout content. Subscribe to Glove Goals now.